Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into a really important topic: how we can best support someone living with ALS through the emotional roller coaster, especially challenges like depression that can come with the diagnosis. Let's start with this powerful idea, because honestly, it's the foundation for everything we're about to discuss. While, yeah, emotional distress is a totally natural response to a life-changing illness, clinical depression doesn't have to be part of the deal. This one sentence really frames our whole conversation with a sense of hope and proactive support. So first things first, let's unpack the emotional side of this. An ALS diagnosis, well, it brings about these huge, profound changes, and it's completely normal to feel intense things like grief and fear. But clinical depression, that's a bit more complex. It's often rooted in a few different factors that are all kind of tangled together. You see, it's really a combination of things. On a psychological level, a person is grieving the loss of abilities. They're dealing with massive shifts in their own identity. Then, biologically, the disease itself can actually affect mood, and things like fatigue and poor sleep, well, they certainly don't help. And then you have the social side of it. As it gets harder to join in on life like before, isolation can creep in, creating a perfect storm for depression. And this brings us to a really critical step for any caregiver, friend, or family member: learning how to spot the warning signs. Identifying them early is absolutely key to providing support that's both timely and truly effective. What's so important to remember here is that some of these signs can be pretty easy to miss. We're looking for patterns that stick around: a sadness that just won't lift, a noticeable loss of interest in hobbies that used to bring joy, or pulling away from loved ones. These aren't just bad days we're talking about. They're consistent signals that something deeper might be happening. And this, right here, really highlights a huge challenge for caregivers. Is the exhaustion from the disease itself, or is it a sign of depression? Is a change in appetite because of swallowing issues, or is it tied to emotional distress? That overlap is real, and it just proves why paying super close attention and keeping the lines of communication wide open is so, so important. Okay, so facing this challenge, where do we even begin? Well, it all starts with our most fundamental human need: connection. Building and keeping a strong circle of support is honestly one of the most powerful weapons we have against depression. And it's so important to understand what effective emotional support really is. It's not about having all the answers or trying to fix everything. The real magic is in your presence. It's about listening without judging, offering companionship, just that simple, profound reassurance that they are not alone on this journey. So what does that look like in real life? It means actively taking care of those existing relationships. And as mobility becomes tougher, technology becomes this amazing bridge. Things like video calls and online groups can be a lifeline against isolation. And those ALS-specific support groups, they can be incredible, connecting people with others who just get it. Now, beyond our personal connections, which are huge, there's also a whole professional toolkit that is incredibly valuable. We have to see mental health care not as some add-on, but as a totally essential piece of comprehensive ALS care. And just take a look at a few of the options available. There's cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, which helps people reframe negative thoughts and build resilience. Then there's acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, which helps shift the focus from what's been lost to what still matters deeply. And of course, supportive counseling provides that vital, safe space to just let it all out. Medications, like antidepressants, can also play a real role in improving mood and helping with sleep. But it's really important to know that medication isn't some magic bullet. It works best when it's just one part of a bigger plan, combined with therapy and that strong circle of support we were just talking about. This whole integrated approach is exactly why multidisciplinary ALS clinics can be such a game changer. They treat the whole person, not just the symptoms of the disease. By having neurologists, therapists, social workers, all these specialists under one roof, they can coordinate mental and physical health care seamlessly. And that has been shown to dramatically improve quality of life. All right, now we get to move into what I think is a deeply empowering part of this journey: rediscovering a sense of purpose. This is all about helping a person redefine your identity and find new sources of meaning, even when everything is changing. This next idea, it's about completely reframing the very concept of hope. For a lot of people, hope is tied to finding a cure. But a much more resilient, durable kind of hope can be found when we shift that focus. Hope becomes about finding meaning in relationships, or making a difference through advocacy, or even just appreciating the small, beautiful moments in a day. So, how can you help with this? Well, you can encourage new ways to engage, like writing or mentoring someone. You can introduce them to adaptive technologies that let them keep communicating and expressing themselves. You can gently remind them of their vital roles as a parent, a partner, a friend. And you can just be there to support them as they explore those big spiritual questions that this journey often brings up. And this, right here, this is the core message. It's a fundamental truth we have to keep coming back to. A person is not their disease. Their value, their identity, who they are, it's all defined by them, not by what their body can or can't do. So, when you boil it all down, a compassionate and truly effective approach is like a web of support. It's not just one thing. It's that powerful combination of professional care, the strength of human connection, and that deep personal power that comes from finding a continued sense of purpose. And that leaves us with this final question to think about. It's a real shift in perspective. The goal isn't just about helping someone cope or get by. It's about creating an environment of support and adaptation that allows them to truly live with dignity, with meaning, and with connection, all the way through their journey with ALS.